Hello everyone, this is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. Welcome to day number 4 of my Christmas Time Is Here video. I'm just going to give it a few more seconds here for everyone to join me. I can see everybody coming on. Hello everyone. So tonight I'm going to do something a little different. I'm still going to create 2 projects like I've been the past 3 nights. But I'm going to start out by giving you guys a little lesson on using some of the stamps before I go into my projects. So welcome everyone. Just a few announcements. My hostess code for November. Don't forget to use this code when shopping online so you can earn free products from me. My free card kit for the month of November for all online orders, any amounts. And you can see here that I used some die cuts, the hammered metal embossing folder, and then I've got some silver glimmer paper on my card. My door prize for the month of November is the Most Wonderful Time stamp set. Anyone that places orders with me by online, email, phone, and all Paper Pumpkin subscribers will be entered. So again, we are on day 4 of the Christmas Time Is Here bundle, which also includes the designer paper and the bracelet. And I showed the bracelet the last couple nights, which has the rose charm and then the Stampin' Up logo. And 2 other products, the gold glimmer enamel dots and then the gold shimmer ribbon. So I'm going to make some room here. What I want to do is show you guys, because a lot of you guys haven't received your products yet. And I want to show you something before everything arrives. So you know that in the designer paper, let me get my dies. This large die actually cuts some of the flowers. So you get 2 sheets of the designer paper. Once you run out, I want to show you how to use the stamps to make your own flowers to do the same thing. So I'm going to start out with my Stamparatus. And I want to show you one that I made ahead of time. Now, I am a yellow rose person. Everybody has their favorite colors. So when you look at the paper, the roses on the designer paper have gold embossing, and you can do the same thing. This is very easy to do. I've gone ahead and done a yellow rose with some copper embossing. You can see how nice and shiny that is. And I'm going to show you how I did that. It's so easy if you know how to use the stamp set. So I'm going to bring in, whoops, my magnets got stuck. I'm going to bring in a piece of Whisper White cardstock. And this time, instead of a yellow rose, I'm going to do a purple posy, and then I'm going to use the Highland Heather also. So I've got a bunch of ink pads here. I'm using the lightest color that we have, which is Sahara Sand. I'm going to bring in the rubber. This one is rubber. I'm going to put that in place where I want it. Pick it up with the Stamparatus. So for those of you just joining, I'm showing you how to make your own roses before I get into my projects. So this is Sahara Sand. And the only reason I'm doing the light color is because I'm going to emboss on top of that. So it's going to be covered anyway. So now let me just wipe my rose before I move on to step number 2. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this one off because I'm going to use it again. Now let me see if I can squeeze this in so you guys can see what I did here. So now I want my rose to be purple posy. I'm going to bring in the stamp set. And the first thing I'm going to do is do the rose image. Now, you can see, I hope you guys can see this. Maybe I'll bring it up. Let me just position this. So when you position that over, you can see the lines peeking through. So that tells you that your rose is lined up where it should be. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? I forgot to put the mat for the photopolymer. So let me do that again. The photopolymer is not as high as the red rubber, so we have to use a different mat. Okay, so there's my rose. I'm going to pick it up. Now I'm going to do the purple posy. I bet you this is going to be pretty. Look how pretty that is. So there's my purple posy rose. Now let me go ahead and wipe that off because I'm all done with that one. Next, I'm going to bring in all of the leaves and I'm going to use the soft sea foam. And again, all of the leaves, when you position them on here, you can see the lines through the stamp so you know that you're in the right spot. So there's one. I just need to move it over just a little. Next, we're going to do this one down here. And you might have to practice a couple times before you get it right. But if you line up your images with the lines, it works. And then the third one is this leaf right here. Now, of course, I have a camera right in my face too, so I may mess up a little bit. But okay, there's my 3 leaves. Again, I'm going to pick up the leaves. Because it's photopolymer, it does stick on your cardstock before you get to ink it. Now I'm going to do the ink. And you can do all of the leaf sections all at once. See how pretty so far? And we got one more to do, and that's the little berries. So let me remove all of my leaves. I want to put them where they belong on my stamp sheet because I lost a stamp the other day and it took me a month to find it. Now this one, you have to kind of play with the berries to see which one goes where. Yes, this would be right. And again, I can see the berries right through the image. Now the berries takes a little bit longer only because there's 4 different stamps. Okay, there's that one. And then we have a small one. Let me see where this one goes. Oh, right in here. I think. Yep, that one goes right there. It's kind of like a big puzzle to line up all the little dots. Okay, so there's all of the berries. Again, I'm going to pick them up, and I know my cardstock's going to want to move again. So you just have to kind of position your cardstock each time. This time I'm going to use Highland Heather. It's going to be a little bit of a darker purple. Gorgeous Grape would look good also. There's my little dots. I'm off a little bit right here. Only the camera is right in front of my face, like I said. And then because the pine cone is all 3 are the same, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and hand stamp the pine cones. I'm going to bring this down. And this time what I'm going to do, instead of the gold or the copper, I'm going to do silver, the silver embossing. Now we need to use the rose image again, so I'm going to remove this layer, add this in place, take this one off, bring the rose back in, because remember it's already lined up to where it should go. Now let me find my embossing powder. I'm going to do Versamark. So you're going to see all of the Sahara sand lines are going to disappear because we're going to do silver embossing on top of that. Okay, so now I just need to stamp this. I'm going to press really hard. And I can get rid of the stamparatus. And now we're going to do silver. Now the silver I think is going to look fabulous with the two purples. So you could play around with this and you could come up with a lot of different color combinations for your flowers. Now let me bring in my heat tool. So we've got copper on this one, we've got gold on the designer paper, and then this one is going to be your silver. And I think it would be pretty to do white embossing on colored cardstock also. Now you can see that starting to change. How pretty that is. I hope you guys can see the shimmer. And then once I'm done this, we're going to move on to our projects for the night. The silver is so pretty. This would be great for a 25th anniversary card. So remember, we talked about this being a Christmas set, but you can use it for so many other holidays and occasions. Okay. So there's the silver. Isn't that pretty? I hope you can see how shiny that is. And then this one was with the copper. Okay, let me get set up for my projects for tonight. So again, tonight, this is day 4, and I am actually creating a card and another 3D project. So tonight, what I decided to do is use the sheet of roses, the little tiny roses, and I did a little bit of fussy cutting. So I have some here that I cut. I'm using Mossy Meadow 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. Oh, I can see all the hearts going by. You guys really liked the embossing, didn't you? Just an easy way to create your own roses. The designer paper with all the pine cones, and this measures 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Now, let me go ahead and bring my card in so you guys can see what I'm doing. So you can see that I use the pine cone designer paper in the back, and then I use some of the roses. So you can do so much with this designer paper. I'm telling you, you can cut, you can die cut. Just a lot of uses for it. Now over here, I put some of the gold ribbon. I'm going to show you how I did that. So I knew ahead of time that I wanted my sentiment in the center. So all I did was add some strips of snail right in the middle. Let me find my scissors. And then all I did was start about 1.5 inches from the top. And then I'm just going to curve my ribbon, press it in the middle, and I'm gonna make like a little Z. Very simple. So there's the ribbon. Next, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment with the Merry Christmas. I haven't used this one yet. This is the first time you guys see it on day 4. I'm using Poppy Parade ink. Now, only because, where's my sheet? I told you guys the last few nights, the coordinating colors are Cherry Cobbler, Early Espresso, Mossy Meadow, Poppy Parade, and white. So I wanted to make sure I showed you the Poppy Parade tonight. Now, let me see if I can. I can't see my... I just want to put dark cardstock under here so I can see where I'm stamping. So there's my Merry Christmas. And I'm going to actually glue that in place with dimensionals. So this card is pretty quick because the designer paper does all the work for you. Okay, now this is going to go right about there. Now the flowers that I cut are not the same as card number 1. There's so many flowers to pick from on the designer paper. You just can't go wrong. So I'm just going to add stamping dimensionals. And before I go any further, I'm going to come in and glue my little piece here that I die cut with Poppy Parade. I'm going to use my sponge and some liquid glue. So I'm just going to sponge that on the back. And that's going to go right on the designer paper just a tad. Okay, there's that. Isn't that cute? Just that little tiny piece, and look what it does to the whole card. Okay, now let's do some flowers in place. I'm going to add this one right here. I think I'm going to have to do 2 at the top because that bottom one is quite huge. So I'm just going to change it up a little bit. There we go. Now let's add a little bit of bling. So we'll add some up here. Now I need to get my other sheet out. I had to open up the sheet last night because I've got the first sheet almost all used up. Whoops, where did that go? I just lost it. Let's try another one. I'll find it after the video. I always do. Okay, so there's the card. How quick and easy, and it's mostly all designer paper. Just a sentiment was stamped and that was it. So now let's go ahead and move on to the 3D project. I am using the twine, and this is from the Gather Together bundle. It has the orange, the Cajun Craze twine that goes with this too. So for tonight on my 3D project, I'm actually using the mini Curvy Keepsake. So I've gone ahead and cut one with the Mossy Meadow, and I wanted to add some designer paper on here to coordinate. So what I did is I cut just 2 pieces using these 2 ends right here with the little handles. So let me set this aside. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold on the score lines. Now what's great about this die, the score lines are all done for you. Oh, I need to bring my sample in. I didn't show you my sample yet either. So here you can see where I've added the designer paper on each side. And then I added a little bow with the 2 little die cuts. Very simple and very quick. And these are the 2 little die cuts from the same die set. You got a lot to pick from there. So now what I'm going to do is add liquid glue to my 2 handle parts. And just add that on top. See how simple it is to change the color or the pattern. Okay, those are all glued in place. Very simple. Now these are easy to assemble, and one easy trick, because these little handles actually have to go into these slots. And what I normally do when I bring these up, you have to fold the handles. And what I do is I join the handles together and then I make it buckle. I make it go down like this. And that way the handles are right in place. So you put the first one over the 2 handles and then you bring the one from the other side over the 2 handles. So look how quick, look how easy, and look how cute. Now let's go ahead and assemble the little tag. I'm going to pop out this hole. And I'm going to add a dimensional. And all I'm going to do is line up the 2 holes. So there's my little tag. And I didn't want to add a sentiment or anything. All I did was pick up one of the glimmer enamel shapes, put that over the center. And then I'm just going to create a bow. Oh, I did tie it around the handle. Now what I did with the bow, I tied it around just one handle. Wait, I gotta go the other way. And then I tied the little tag on the handle with some twine. So are you guys anxious for tomorrow night? Remember, I keep rubbing it in that tomorrow night is my wow project. So tomorrow night I'll be on at the same time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm going to have a wow project. So I've already picked 3 names, 1 for each night. And by the time I'm done, I'm going to have 5 winners that are going to be part of the grand prize at the end. And you're going to, those people are, one person is going to win all of the projects that I've created, 1 of each. Now I've got the twine around the tag. I'm actually going to tie it around the bow. And I'm just going to do a double knot. So anyway, I've got 3 names picked already. I don't know if you guys saw that on my Facebook page. Okay. So there we go. Those are the projects for tonight with the Curvy Keepsake. And I'll put this one on that side so you guys can see. Well, maybe not. It's not staying up. Okay. Let me bring in the projects. This was last night's with the decorative corner fold card fold with the little mini pizza box. Night number 2 was this card with the triangle box. And then night number 1 was this card with the little mini shopping bag, the little mini gift bag. So there's my projects for tonight, and I hope you guys will join me tomorrow. I'm not sure. I think it'll be a little bit longer of a class because it is a wow project, but I promise you you're going to enjoy it and you're going to want to replicate it. So thanks for joining me, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow night. Have a good night.